Ladies and gentlemen, let's not start that off just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rap and Wrestling. It's your boy T the Monster. Been away for a little bit, but we just gonna review today. Welcome back to the channel, man. Hope everybody been doing great. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. In case y'all haven't been, paying attention to wrestling, or your ass been sleep under a rock for the last week or so, Michelle McCool is officially going into the Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle McCool is going into the Hall of Fame, also known as The Undertaker's wife. If you don't know who Michelle McCool is, definitely get on YouTube and see, her highlights and things like that. She's also The Undertaker's wife, and she came up in the mid-2000s in WWE and was part of that women's division coming up as well, and she helped pave the way for some of your favorite current WWE superstars who are women right now. So one time for Michelle McCool getting into the Hall of Fame. And as of now, I believe it's just Triple H and her that are going to be inducted into the 2025 class of the Hall of Fame. So one time from Michelle McCool, good job. Keep that shit going. First show. Second thing, of course, is if you haven't already, be sure to like and comment and subscribe on the channel, of course. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I believe that as of now, we're already at 1,000. So thank you for that. Let's get right into it. The SmackDown highlights, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all saw SmackDown yesterday, man, but woo, it was a good one. I think SmackDown was pretty good yesterday. It started off with the Cody, the Cody promo and him coming out and addressing, who's to face him at WrestleMania going into the chamber and things like that. Drew McIntyre, of course, came out and was like, really, that's it? Just Andrew McIntyre? Being petty, of course, typical Drew. And then Jacob Fatu came out, which is very interesting because it's like, okay, I see y'all kind of like planting seeds there, giving Jacob that push, shining him up really, really good. As I said before in the previous video this year, I do believe it's going to be a great year for Jacob Fatu. So, you kind of saw how SmackDown started off, like I said, with those two in the ring, of course. Here in my notes, I also have that the LA Knight and The Miz, they got into it a little bit too, verbal spatting. Of course, they went at it before previously, I want to say sometime last year, but LA Knight low-key kind of cooked the shit out of The Miz by just asking them very, very simple questions like, do you even know who you are? What did he say? He's like, would you want to be around you? Or like, would you want to introduce yourself to yourself or something like that? But LA Knight out here cooking on the mic per usual. Miz was selling it, of course, with his facial expressions. It low-key looked like Miz was trying not to laugh the entire time, and LA Knight was trying to get him to pop. And because you could just see LA Knight came to the ring with a smile on his face as he was coming down the aisle. Like you could tell he had some things he wanted to say. And of course he got all his stuff in this time as well when getting into the match. So LA Knight and The Miz, they fought each other last night, and of course LA Knight came out on top. Next after that, of course, we had Charlotte, of course. I should say that it's official that we're going to get Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I would say I didn't see this coming, but I think we all kind of saw this coming. Now, the interesting thing about this is, number one, I did like how they set it up. Of course, we know we can't put Charlotte as a face. Her coming to the ring and saying the queen chooses you. All good stuff, of course, for the character of Charlotte. I think that kind of builds with that, kind of showing that she's going to be a heel. Good job with that. My question is, at WrestleMania, who's going over? Because Tiffany Stratton just got the belt. Or title or championship, whatever y'all want to call it now. She just got it. Mania will be here, 419 and 420. So that's a little over 2 months from now. So she gets her maybe 4 or 5 month run, or almost 5 month run with a championship. And then if she drops it to Charlotte, it's like, well, damn, what was the point of really pushing her and having her have the Money in the Bank contract for as long as she did, just to have just for her title reign to be not as many days as her having the Money in the Bank championship or the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I'm curious to see what they kind of do with that. I think that Tiffany should go over and at WrestleMania, and then maybe Charlotte get it on the back end, only because y'all just gonna push Charlotte directly to the top just because of her last name, huh? Come on now, let's be real. But also Naomi, she won her qualifier match for the women's Elimination Chamber match that we will see at Elimination Chamber in Toronto. Great match, of course, solid match put on by Naomi, as she always does. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with her and her tag team partner in that chamber, huh? Yeah, them looking at that footage from Jade Cargill's accident too, and then we see Liv and Raquel walking off. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that storyline going into the chamber. Maybe there's some twists and turns to see who actually did the accident to who caused who caused Jade Cargill to go through that accident. Maybe there's some twists and turns with that, and maybe it was Naomi, maybe it was Bianca Belair. Let's see what that goes to. Also, on top of that is the interaction between Jacob and Solo behind the scenes. So, I'm sorry, not behind the scenes, but backstage. So, going back to the Cody promo, we did see that, you know, Jacob and Cody had an interaction there, but at the end of that interaction, we saw that Solo pulled up. Solo got out of the car, dressed in white this time, not the usual black, which I think is kind of interesting. And then when they came back from commercial break, we saw Jacob go to address Solo about what's going on. Solo, like, basically, man, I lost my confidence, basically. I let the fam down, I let you down, I lost the Ula Fala to Roman, blah, 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 blah. So what I think is going to happen with all of that is I think they're planting seeds for Jacob versus Solo at WrestleMania. And if we get Jacob versus Solo at WrestleMania, maybe with some type of bloodline stipulation or whatever, that's going to be gold for Jacob, because storyline wise, great way to kind of end the story with the bloodline. Or does the bloodline storyline end? Does Roman somehow gets involved with that, or does Jacob take over the bloodline? And I do like how WWE kind of pivoted a little bit just from Solo, just to kind of see how Jacob goes. Jacob's been killing it on the mic. He's been getting mic time. He's been getting camera time backstage. He's been getting ring time. So he's being, you know, primed just to kind of be that next champion for him to get a championship, whether it be the IC, US, or the World Heavyweight Champion, or WWE Championship. So keep going with that with WWE, with Jacob, and keep pushing him. But it's going to be lovely to see what happens with him and Solo at WrestleMania, if that is in the cards. So Jacob, of course, lost yesterday in his qualifier match in a triple threat qualifier match with Braun Strowman and Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu, due to a very interesting finish. Now, in that finish, of course, we saw Solo get involved. Solo got involved, and he ended up Samoan spiking someone by mistake. He ended up Samoan spiking Tama Tonga by mistake, and Jacob saw it. Jacob got in his face. Priest pushed Jacob from behind, abruptly and inadvertently hitting Solo. So it's going to be like, all right, what happens with this now? Like, what's going to be the drama next week with the bloodline about what's going on? So I love the intertwining storylines, how they've been doing stuff lately. I think Triple H is running SmackDown. I'm not sure, but either or, whoever's running that, keep that kind of shit going. It's WrestleMania season. It's the road to WrestleMania, so all the storylines got to be fire as fuck going into April. So keep that kind of shit going, WWE. We need you, and we thank you. Jesus Christ. Another question for me is Trish Stratus, is she full-time? Is she a full-time talent? Because I talked about this before. I think she did get another contract. She got involved in a match yesterday. The Tiffany Stratton match, I think, with Nia Jax that they were fighting. Not Tiffany Stratton, I forgot who she was fighting. Or maybe it was Tiffany Stratton. But she got involved with that match and saved her. Now, what happens with Trish Stratus going forward, with her being or seeming to be in-ring talent now? Is she going to get a match at Mania? And if so, who's it going to be against? Because it seems like some of the top females already kind of have like feuds going into Mania. Will it be against Nia Jax? Who fucking knows? We'll see. And of course, Damian Priest, like I said, he won last night. So Damian Priest punched his way to the chamber. In that chamber, as of now, we got 5 people. So it's going to be Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, John Cena, and Logan Paul. The last qualifier match is on Monday on Raw, where it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Either or could win. Honestly speaking, I would love to see the throw off of Finn Balor winning, just to kind of put him in that chamber and kind of get like push Finn a little bit this year. But if you put Seth in there, of course, it's going to be fiery. You got Drew McIntyre already in there. You got CM Punk already in there. Logan Paul is in there. Cena is in there. So it's already going to be star-studded just to see who goes to Mania. It'll be a great match to put on and see Seth in there as well. Either or, you can kind of do Seth or Finn for it to be a great match. So, next, I think John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, and then I think we get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And when we get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, it makes me think, who's going to turn heel? Because otherwise you'll have 2 super baby faces right now going against each other. And it's like, well, who is the crowd going to root for? It'll kind of be like Hogan versus Rock of this generation in a way. But it's like, with that, I think Cena should turn heel, because he's been the, you know, the corporate guy and, you know, the guy for WWE for the last 20 plus years. And we already know Cody's is coming down the line, but Cena should do it one more time for the last part of his career. Let him go heel, and then let it be heel Cena versus face Cody at Mania, and then maybe they can do a double turn at Mania and kind of keep going from there to where Cena's back face and Cody then goes heel. That'll be dope. Just, you know, me booking WrestleMania, but hey, what do I know? But my predictions for Elimination Chamber is, I don't have too many just yet because we got to see who that last person is going to be. I think that in the Elimination Chamber, though, for the men, I do think that John Cena is going to win it. I think John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber there for the men, and then he goes off to face Cody at Mania. And for the women, I think that we end up getting either Bianca Belair to go up against, would it be Rhea Ripley? Against Rhea Ripley, or I think that maybe we get like Bayley to go up against Rhea Ripley, but I do think it's going to be Bianca Belair. I'm like 80% sold on that, and that'll be a blockbuster match at Mania too. So, until then though, let's see what it is that we do. We can talk about this next week once we have all the qualifiers in the match. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's Rapping Wrestling. It's your boy T the Monster. If you haven't, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I want to thank every single one of you for all 1,000 of my subscribers. We've reached over 1,000 subscribers. The goal with this is to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and to make this channel like the partner interruption, or the what's the show that with Shay and Stephen A. Smith, that show up but for wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get all kinds of coverage and everything everywhere else, but you don't see folks debating about it like how they do basketball and football and stuff like that. So that's the goal of this show. Eventually we're going to get guests on here as well. Maybe we'll introduce and interview a couple of wrestlers, but until then, keep on rocking with us, man. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.